The difference between you squatting like this, where your heels start rocking forward and you can't get low enough, and you actually being able to squat like this, is linked to your hip mobility.
What's going on YouTube, it's Jason, and in this video we are going to be discussing hip mobility and how improving that can help things like your squat and day-to-day function. Now, I've been training almost 20 years, and for the vast majority of that I've largely neglected hip mobility training. I've trained hard in the gym, I've eaten very well, my sleep has been okay, and I thought that would be enough. But as I discussed in the last video, the past year or so has affected me because I haven't had very mobile hips and my body is beginning to break down. So I am prioritizing it again and factoring it into my weekly training. I want to show you 4 exercises that you must do that are going to massively help your hip mobility. This is particularly important if you work a 9-to-5 desk job. People think that just by doing a few HIIT workouts they're going to be okay, but if you're sitting down at a desk all day, pretty much like myself, and you're not prioritizing this kind of training, your hips and your lower back are gonna be super tight. So sit back, enjoy, and let's head off to the gym.
The difference between you squatting like this, where your heels start rocking forward and you can't get low enough, and you actually being able to squat like this, is linked to your hip mobility. Hip mobility is so important. People often wait until something goes wrong or they're injured to actually do anything about their hips. Case in point. But I always tell my clients that our hips affect our day-to-day more than we would even think. Things like how deep we can squat are linked to the mobility of our hips. And so I always recommend to my clients that if you're sedentary during the day or you have a 9-to-5 desk job, hip mobility stuff is absolutely crucial. And so there are 4 exercises that I'm going to show you that can improve the mobility of your hips. And the first thing we're going to do is what's called a hip external rotation. And for this exercise, you're looking to have a bar to balance on your traps so that it actually exposes your hips to movement. And from a kneeling position, you are driving the hips up onto a platform like so. The good thing with this move is it actually mirrors what you do at the bottom of a squat or the bottom of a lunge. And so this is a perfect exercise to help you to squat deeper. It also helps the core because you're forced to balance in between the moves to maintain proper form. Next exercise we're going to do is what's called a hip flexion. And to do this, we are going to use a resistance band. Hip flexions are great for mobility, but also strengthening power and explosiveness. And so to do this exercise, what we're looking to do is loop a band around a pole or a door. Some of you guys might remember doing these loops in lockdown. I certainly did. All I was doing was resistance band exercises because all the gyms were closed. So anyways, we're looking to hook the band around our foot like so. Move back so there's enough tension. And all we're looking to do essentially is drive the knees towards your chest. And so just like this, you can actually strengthen the hip. And the great thing about this exercise is that it actually mirrors a running motion. And so if you're someone that's looking to improve your power and speed in a particular sport, this is a great exercise. Next exercise we're going to do is what's called an alternating hip abduction and adduction. And to do this, we're going to use a kettlebell just to create some height for our legs to go over. And so we're looking to lift the legs over the kettlebell. The idea is you want to keep the legs as straight as possible and not touch the ground on either side. And that way your hips stay flexed throughout the move. As you get more advanced, what we can look to do is replace the kettlebell with a dumbbell. That way we have more height, and we're just again looking to do the same thing, but just exaggerate the height as we go over the dumbbell to create more tension on the hips. Final exercise we're going to do is what's called a hip abduction, once again using the resistance band. And so just like before, we're looking to create a loop with the resistance band. This thing is so fiddly. And we're looking to have one ankle inside the band. We're going to hold onto the pole for balance, and all we're looking to do is just step and plant one of our feet, and the other foot is just going to externally rotate outwards and just slightly hold at the top. Again, great for glute power and hip strength.
So that's everything. Do this routine 2 to 3 times a week for best results. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to like it if you did. Comment below for the algorithm, it massively helps. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.